Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Colada, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts on Squid Game Season 3 because I've just recently finished watching it and I still have a headache from Poor Playtime Chapter 4. So let's get into it. Before we start, warnings, spoilers obviously, but let's just get into it. I think it's best if we start off with the characters, so player 333, wow, I did not expect him to last for so long. Generally, he's a cool character. I generally think like his character development in season 3 is really good, but I did not like him in the end to the point where he would literally kill the baby just to win. But nonetheless, I generally think he's a really cool character. I think with season 3, he's a bit more interesting than he was in season 2. But yeah, he's a really cool character this season. And of course, up next is player 222. Wow, it's so upsetting that she basically, gave up. Honestly, her death was really upsetting and very shocking as well, like really shocking. It was just really unfortunate that she, basically broke her ankle. I just feel like she would have survived much longer if, they didn't actually decide to make her break her ankle. But at the same time, I do kind of understand. By the way, I'm going to say the numbers because I can barely remember the Korean names. Korean names are just so complex, I'm so sorry. But up next is player 388. I'm pretty sure his name is Daeho. I have no idea. Like I said, I'm not good with Korean names. But he didn't really last that very long. He lasted until, I'm pretty sure, episode 2. Which, by the way, episode 2 was just crazy. It was so crazy. Killed so many good characters. But nonetheless, Daeho, he's a really cool character, and honestly, I thought he had PTSD. I generally thought he did, and I thought he was actually a proper Marine, but no. If you look into his class that he was in, it is true what happened, so I thought PTSD would have been the case, but no, he lied. And of course, it was a big shame that he died, and player 456 hated him, but it makes sense why. Up next is my favourite character, which is player 120, also known as the trans person. Man, I can't believe she died so early. Generally, I thought she would make it to the end, but wow, I generally can't believe she died so early. It was such a big shock as well. I kind of hate player 333 even more because of that, but man, it's just so annoying that she died so early because she was such a cool character, especially her character development, and also she was just such a badass in general. So it was such a big shame to see her die, and her fighting scenes in episode 2 were incredible. Up next is player 149. Man, I generally can't believe that she killed her own son. That is so shocking. Like, honestly, my jaw just opened wide open, and the fact is she basically unalived herself as well in the end is just so upsetting. Like, it makes you like upset and like shocked at the same time. You just can't believe it happened. And with player 7, the son, of course, I feel so bad for him. Like, he couldn't kill anyone even if he tried. I felt bad for him. Up next is player 125, I'm pretty sure, and his name is Minsu, I think. Wow, I generally can't believe it. He was a scared person to then taking drugs and becoming a jackass. Like, honestly, it was so funny to see him like taunt one of his enemies. I can't remember his number, like I generally can't from the top of my head. But it was just so funny, and he was such a cool character, but in the end, it is, I'm pretty sure like his flashbacks came to him, especially with the Thanos scene as well. Like, he came back as well. It was quite cool as well, but don't do drugs, kids. Up next is player 100. I hate this guy still till this day. Why the hell did he last until 5th place? No one knows. I hate him. Up next is player 246, the person who escaped. Honestly, I'm surprised that he generally escaped. I thought they couldn't pull it off, but they did actually, and I'm very surprised as well. Like, at the end of season 2, I generally thought he would have died, but at the same time, you could kind of see that he wouldn't die, but yeah. And up next, player 456. Till this day, honestly, thinking about it, his death is still so shocking as well. Like, I can't believe that he literally gave up just so a baby could win. Like, if you think about it, he lost to a CGI baby. No, but like realistically though, his death is honestly, it makes sense why, but I feel like he shouldn't have died. I felt it was like a bad decision they'd done. Like, I don't know why you can't just forfeit or something like that. Like, I'm pretty sure they wanted to do that in like season 1, but they never did. And honestly, it's like a really big shame, and I kind of understand why, he gave up himself so the baby can win to live, another life. And you think about it, player 456 did try to end his life so many times, but he failed in the end. And yeah, it's a big shame, really. The ending was, pretty cool, I guess. I mean, it's confirmed that we are going to get more Squid Games, but this one is going to be an American one, which is going to be very controversial. I don't know why, but I can see me hating it quite a lot. I mean, I don't think it'll be as good as the Korean one, but yeah. However, I do have a little theory of what's going to happen in the next Squid Games. I think the frontman would actually join the Squid Games in America and basically, try to stop the Squid Games, because I felt like player 456, when 456, met with the frontman in person, he kind of like persuade him to think that humanity does have faith and hope, and this was just an old, stupid, ridiculous act. And it is true, I think, player 456 got to the frontman's head, and I think, the frontman will join the Squid Games in America to, stop the Squid Games. But that's kind of a me theory. I don't know if that could happen. I don't know if they will even add old characters back. Maybe the baby might make a return. Probably not, but I don't really know. Maybe the detective might come back as well. But again, I don't really know if they will add Korean people into the American Squid Games, but we will find out next year, actually. I mean, like I said, I don't think it'll be as good as the Korean Squid Games. I mean, I don't really know. It'd be quite cool to see what games they will actually have in the American Squid Games, but we'll have to find out, like I said. Speaking of the games, the 4th game, Hide and Seek, so basic, but it was so intense, and I loved it so much. Again, it was the episode where we saw a lot of our favourite characters died off, but wow, it was so crazy, and it was like, it makes sense why they did Hide and Seek. So basic, but they spiced it up a little bit, and it was so cool. And thank God that religious woman died. She was so annoying. The 5th game was Jack and Jill, I think it was, or Skipping Rope, I'm not even sure. That was a really cool one. I wasn't a big fan of it. Again, we saw some characters that we loved died, and it was quite funny to see everyone just fling off. It was quite funny, I will admit. And the last game, I will admit, it was quite boring, quite generic, but it makes sense. Again, player 100, how the hell did you survive until 5th place? How? With the captain killing off everyone apart from 2, I thought it was pretty crazy, I generally wasn't expecting him to be in the Squid Games, like a long time ago. Like, it was like so shocking, but it was kind of cool, he was quite cool character, very mysterious, and it's a shame that the detective didn't, catch him early on. Talking about more of the ending with, the frontman blowing up the island, I mean, it makes sense why he did it. He didn't want any evidence to be, out in the open, because, hundreds, if not thousands of thousands, if not tens of thousands of deaths has happened because of the Squid Games, so it makes sense why he blew up the island, to get all that evidence, because the Coast Guard came in and found the island, so it makes sense why. And honestly, it was pretty cool to see that, the island exploding, but at the same time, I think it'll be quite of a cool to see what happened if it didn't explode, and, had the whole SWAT team came in and see what happens. Maybe they could have done that and they had like a massive battle, the guards versus the SWAT team. It'd be quite cool to see that happen, Another thing with player 456, I generally can't believe that, they basically tortured him, not by killing him, but cuffed him to a bed so he can't move, and he couldn't do anything apart from tackling out religious women, which I found hilarious. But yeah, I can't really wait for the American Squid Games to come out or any of the other ones because I don't think they'll be as good as Squid Games in Korea. Like the Korea one, so good, so emotional and so interesting. Like you dive in so quickly and you can't stop watching it. Like I binge watched the entire 6 or 5 episodes there were. Incredible. I loved it so much. But yeah, that's all I have to say for chapter 3. Chapter 3? This ain't probably playtime, Colada. As I was saying, but that's all for Squid Game Season 3. Honestly, music was incredible, games were incredible, character development is incredible, acting, directing was absolutely incredible, loved all of it. The ending, you know, wasn't the ending I was expecting, and I didn't really like the ending, but it makes sense why, and I understand why they did that ending. It was quite emotional, quite diverse, and honestly, if I had to say one word for Squid Game Season 3, it would be shocking, but in a good way, you know? Like, you would be surprised what would happen. If you haven't watched it, I would recommend going and watch it because it's really good and I absolutely loved it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, then consider subscribing because it helps out an absolute massive ton. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!